back to another exclusive edition of More to Live For. Sorry for the delay. I know it's been a minute. Got a good update, man. Quick update for my viewers, man. That's new to the channel. Definitely shout out all the new subscribers. Definitely shout out all the new subscribers, man. Peace and blessings to all, man. Hope everybody having a good day. For sure. I want to do a quick little update, man. On my homeboy, man. My homeboy Rashad, definitely. As you can see, it's still free Rashad till I see Rashad. You know what I mean? I want to do a quick little update because I was thinking that a lot of my new subscribers may not, you know what I mean, understand the full journey and everything they've been through. So I decided to put a quick little project together, man. Quick little project together, man. Hope everybody having a good day, good afternoon, good evening, the whole nine, man. Definitely. For sure. So, you know what I mean? Anybody that's been keeping up with the channel, know my homeboy been down 16 years straight. You know what I mean? North Carolina Department of Corrections. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to do a little condensed version of the story or whatever. Because I did make several videos about it already, but he got sentenced 25 years for a string of armed robberies. You know what I mean? Happened between 2007 and 8. So, but through that, you know, I won't really get into too many details. Like I said, I already made videos about it, but for the ones that's new to the channel and definitely new to the whole movement, the whole Free Rashad campaign that I got going on, you know, like any other, well, not any other, but like several other, you know, cases like that, you know, involved with multiple defendants, you know what I mean? Somebody turned state or whatever. So that's what happened with his situation. And Cody's, you know what I mean? They did like 5 or 6. He's 16 in, count. You know what I mean? So that's like I said, man, it's I got videos about that, man. So anybody new to the channel, man, definitely look to my videos, man. It's quite a few of them, but you'll see several about the full Rashad White story or whatever. You know what I mean? You can get the full, you know what I mean? I go into details on those videos or whatever. So I don't want to repeat that for the ones that's, you know what I mean, been here from the start. You know what I mean? Definitely shout out to the day ones. So, but you know what I mean? The homie, he's give people a little background about the journey or whatever, like getting sentenced to 25 years when you 24. You know what I mean? They really can, you know what I mean, do something to your mind or whatever. You know what I mean? Shape your mind or whatever. So I remember one of the first prisons that he really hit that was, you know what I mean, like won't really consider like a reception or whatever. You know what I mean? Like a prison that's going to basically do an assessment. Like North Carolina got those just like every other state got those or whatever. So like, I remember when he first got to like first real prison that he was going to or whatever, and that was Table Correction. Somewhere in deep in the country. Somewhere. Bigger the state is, it's a lot of places for prison, sad to say, whatever, but like that was the homie. I want to say probably like maybe like 4 years in or whatever. So like I remember talking to him around that time or whatever, and just like the state of mind that that he was in or whatever. And it definitely won't you know, it won't really nothing, you know what I mean, from the outside looking in, you would say it wasn't positive, but from the inside looking out, it was more so like survival. You know what I mean? Like he know he saw this long number, you know what I mean, in front of him. So that's like the mindset that he had around then. You know what I mean? Like kind of feeling his way around the penitentiary, so to say. You know what I mean? By like year four, or whatever. Like he already been in his share of altercations. He was telling me about some of the stuff that he was seeing that he thought was crazy, but he done got used to it. And this, like I said, this was like year four or whatever. So like just hearing him talk about that stuff, man, like where he was at mentally, you know what I mean? Like all I was doing is like, you know what I mean? Like, trying to do my best to be there for him, you know what I mean? Like making sure I always press five when he called or whatever. But I had a little bullshit job then. It wasn't nothing like I got now, whatever. Like, but I was, you know what I mean, still trying to help, you know what I mean, financially as much as I could. But the biggest thing was just like always picking up that, you know what I mean, picking up the phone. And then back then, you know what I mean, this like 2012 or 13 or something like that. Like North Carolina prisoners were still able to get like physical mail. So he was still, you know what I mean, he would write me like when he couldn't call, he would write me or whatever, like, and it wasn't nothing for to get his letter, I'm sure to write back. Versus you know what I mean, like how it is now, like basically we like communicating on an app. You know what I mean? They certain prisons got like these tablets or whatever. So like they let the inmates correspond that way. But like all that, the way the mail changed in North Carolina, like all of that was like centered around like the whole K2 movement that happened like in all southern prisons or whatever, like all southern states, they prison system, whatever. You know what I mean? Hit with K2 and like everybody know, you know what I mean, type of stuff that do to you or whatever. So like that's why the mail had changed. But that, like I said, that was like 2012 or 13. So like I remember like around that time or whatever, like he had got sent to Maury or whatever. Like I could be mistaken. He could have hit Maury before that. Um, he could have hit Maury before that. It could have been around. It could have been 2012 that he was there, whatever. But like I said, I got other videos about it or whatever. So like this is just a condensed version of a little bit of the journey or whatever. But like anybody that you know what I mean that's around this way, man, like when people hear prisoners like Maury or whatever, matter of fact, like if you can get a good look at this shirt, like that's Maury prison in the background. But like that's like a notorious prison in North Carolina or whatever. And like, what's even crazier, that shit ain't too far from here. Like shit, I don't even think a good hour to keep it hot. But like yeah, that's one of North Carolina's most notorious prisons or whatever. And like before I go into like, you know what I mean, like the type of stuff that he was into, that he was seeing, the type of life that he was living around that time, like I need to first explain kind of the different classifications of North Carolina inmates or whatever. Like it's like closed custody inmates, and from my understanding, that's like majority of the inmates they got like a good amount of time to do. They can be closed custody, or it's like based upon the crime or whatever. Like so, it's that, and then it's medium custody or whatever, and that's more like a dorm type living or whatever. And the closed custody is single cell. Crazy that is, single cell. That's what that closed custody is. So fast forward, like I said, he at Maury now or whatever. And just like the last prison that he was at, you know what I mean, like closed custody. So he's you know what I mean, he's definitely you know what I mean, living the convict life. By this time, shit, it was nothing for you know what I mean. I would talk to her almost every other night, shit, because like around that time, like I mean, it ain't no secret that them phones in there left and right or whatever. And you know what I mean? He done been caught up in that. You know what I mean? It's documented, so it ain't nothing, you know what I mean, new to the DOC or whatever. But like it wasn't nothing for the talk to him around this time or whatever. But like during this time that I'm talking to him or whatever, like I'm really understanding like how big that K2 shit is. And you know what I mean? I think still is crazy in North Carolina DOC, but like around that time, like that's when I'm hearing people in the background wigging out, whatever, like he telling me shit, you know what I mean, crazy shit people doing, you know what I mean, while on that, and then like how people getting caught with it, you know what I mean, just a whole lot of crazy shit that he's seeing at a crazy place, which is Maury. It's some notorious North Carolina offenders that's been there. You know what I mean? A couple big names. I really don't want to go into that. Like I said, because like I did, not only did I do other videos about it, but it's like it's certain information that he shared with me and certain stories that he told me. You know what I mean? That's like I ain't even gonna try to tell it the way he did. I gotta wait till he get here to tell it. So like, you know what I mean? But more was on the news around that time too, because like around that time, like a lot of staff was, you know what I mean, getting charges, whether it's drugs or like relations with a inmate or whatever. Like there was a lot of stuff like that going on around that time. And he was, I ain't gonna say he was caught up in the mix, but he wasn't too far around, too far away from it. You know what I mean? Because like by this time, like you know what I mean, it was Tamori, I want to say up until like COVID started. So that we talking like at least 8, 9 years at one particular spot. You know what I mean? And and like I said, this one of North Carolina's most notorious prisons. And you know what I mean? Like it's one of those. So like he becoming a full convict. So you know, by this time it's like I'm seeing stuff on the news or whatever. You know what I mean? He'll call me and tell me some shit I'm about to see on the news. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like Maury was like a real wild time for him or whatever. Like certain things that he went through. Like I said, I feel more comfortable letting him share that. But one thing I can say that he, you know, shared with me about that experience at Maury or whatever. Like I don't know if that was the first time, but it was definitely the worst time that he actually, you know what I mean, got assaulted by officers or whatever. And I know at Maury he spent a lot of time in the hole or whatever too. And like having an extended stay in the hole, it will do something to you mentally. You know what I mean? Like it'll do something to you mentally. And it's like, you know what I mean, people you might not understand until you all the way there or whatever. So like he eventually he came up out of the hole while he was at you know what I mean, Maury or whatever. But like by this time I'm thinking, you know what I mean, like throughout this journey at Maury, like I said, by this time the mail had already switched over to the technology or whatever, like where we can send each other messages. But that still was like far in between because like I said, by this time, you know what I mean, he is, you know what I mean, catching you know what I mean, serious charges or whatever, whether it's weapon possession, assault with a weapon, you know what I mean, like getting caught with a phone, shit like that. So like having that tablet and you know what I mean, them already having a certain you know what I mean, files in his jacket or whatever, like it still was kind of shaky trying to you know what I mean, correspond. But You know what I mean? I never lost touch. That's one thing I can say. I never lost touch, and even during that time, like we coming up on COVID or whatever. So like he telling me about the shit, like, and I'm like, damn. But that's really how it goes sometimes. Like sometimes stuff happen. I mean, prison and jail, and they'll find out before the streets find out. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it goes sometimes, whatever. So like I remember him telling me about that or whatever, and then like once it started getting crazy and everything that was shutting down or whatever, like how they were doing them. Basically, it's like, I mean, it's people on the outside you know what I mean, that's been down before, that made light of it. When we had the lockdown, whatever, we had to you know what I mean, stay home or whatever. But like they was the people that's inside and inside still and were inside during that time. Like from what the homie told me, it's like they were on lock. I mean, like no exaggeration. It's like they really was on lock for like 3.5 years straight. You know what I mean? Like little to no movement or whatever. And like by this time, you know what I mean, like cases spiking or whatever. Like he telling me people catching it and they're dying or whatever. So like yeah, that time that Maury was crazy or whatever. And like people were ODing around him too. I remember somebody close to him. I ain't necessarily say close to him, but somebody that he was familiar with OD'd or whatever, and that made the news or whatever. So that shit was crazy too. But like eventually, you know what I mean, after his last big infraction and all out famous state, I want to say it was you know what I mean, when he you know what I mean, put that work in whatever. You know what I mean? Like he got that charge for assault with a weapon. But like after that hole, after he went to the hole that time or whatever, like when he by the time he got out, they shipped him. They shipped him. And he had hit, I want to say he had hit I want to say Hyde. It's a prison in Hyde County. That was brief. And then he ended up at this spot called Morrison, whatever. But that's like a medium or whatever. So like, you know what I mean? Like being there or whatever, like he was like getting into more trouble, whatever, because it's like his custody was trying to drop or whatever, but like you know what I mean, the whole living environment, the living arrangements had changed for him because like he going from cell life to dorm or whatever. So like, you know what I mean, he did his thing while he was there, whatever. He won't really get into too much trouble, but you know, just like on any other prison or whatever, like he caught one like the biggest charges or whatever. That's like one of the biggest charges that's really nothing that with no physical evidence or whatever. Like one of those type of charges or whatever. Like he got a charge inciting a riot or whatever. And anybody, from my understanding, the people that I interview and you know what I mean, people that I know that's been down or whatever, like you get that inciting a riot, they getting you up out of there or whatever. So like from that charge, that's what led him to the mountains that's right here in his background. And during that time or whatever, like he going through, you know what I mean? Like I said, man, like it ain't no secret. You know what I mean? This the South, and like it's a big state, man. It's a big ass state, North Carolina, whatever. Like, and believe it or not, it's towns that you know what I mean, racism is alive and well. Shit, it's a statue right now. Right now, 2024, it's a statue up right now in North Carolina that says in appreciation of our faithful slaves. Yeah, right now. It's a statue up right now. But I say that to say that racism is alive and well in North Carolina and any other town, city, state, Providence, whatever. It's alive and well. But like in these particular small towns or whatever, like they'll throw these prisons out there, and it's like they use it just to boost the economy. Like at these prisons, it'll be like a whole family working there, like whether it's like husband and wife or like husband, wife, son, daughter-in-law, niece, you know what I mean, et cetera, whatever. So like in these small towns, whatever, the people like the only black or brown people that they ever been around or ever seen are inmates. So that's their whole perception, you know what I mean, of us or whatever. So like being around that, and that's like being sent to the mountains in North Carolina. It's one of the two things. It's like you running, you hiding from somebody, or like you that's where they sending you at. Like that's like a segregational, not segregation, but that's like a prison that you're going to for a penalty. You know what I mean? A heavy penalty, like for a serious charge, serious infraction that's in prison, like send you to the mountains. So like if this were California or something like that, this would be like a shoe term or whatever, if that makes sense. But like he there and he going through all this mental, you know what I mean, psychological things or whatever, like just how he being treated. You know what I mean? Like I just remember him like telling me how burnt out he was and shit. Like I just he thought prison won't messing with his mental or whatever, but it's really starting to. Like I remember that conversation very well or whatever, and that was like while he was up in the mountains, and it was a fight to get him out of the mountains. And I got another video where I actually called to the prison, whatever, asking them about this program that they got for, you know what I mean, long-term inmates like itself that's you know what I mean, trying to better themselves or whatever, you know what I mean, gang bang shit, you know what I mean, shit like that. It's called like a SRTG program in North Carolina or whatever. So like I remember calling and like doing that process, like, you know what I mean, his family were calling or whatever. And by this time he had gained his pen pal or whatever. So like she was calling or whatever. So like eventually like that you know what I mean, that they got pushed, that effort got pushed, and he was able to get into this program or whatever. And by that time, you know what I mean, he's like definitely double digits. I want to say like 13, 14 in by then. So, you know what I mean? I'm skipping over a lot of stuff, but like I said, there's so much stuff that he gotta say. And I'm gonna wait for him to get here, you know what I mean? So he can say it. You feel what I'm saying? Definitely free to home, you already know. But eventually he got it, he passed the program or whatever. So like I want to say he stayed in them mountains for like 22 months. I don't think it was a whole 2 years, but definitely was over a year. So I think that, you know what I mean, him passing that and making it up out of the mountains, man, I definitely think those mountains did a toll on him or whatever. And like eventually passing that and, you know what I mean, kind of staying out of trouble, his custody level, you know what I mean, still dropping. Like when you on lockdown for all this time or whatever, you ain't getting into nothing. Then like when you come out, you know what I mean, like you already know the play, you already know the type of game that they playing, and you just doing your best to stay out the way. Like from the way he explained it, I know that's definitely something that's hard to do or whatever, but like by doing that, you know what I mean, that's another, you know, psychological game or whatever. That's another, you know, another form of some type of mental stress or whatever. But by doing that, eventually his custody level dropped. So he was able to, like I said earlier, he was able, you know what I mean, it's two different levels in North Carolina prison, like closed custody, medium custody, whatever. Closed custody, brown. So anytime like somebody like in a brown tie in North Carolina prison, like this right here, like they definitely, you know what I mean, closed custody, man. You know what I mean? Like if you look closely, like, you know what I mean, that's brown pants. Like he ain't got a top on, but like that's closed custody. So like eventually he got his greens or whatever. And this the homie now. 40 years old, you know what I mean, 16 years in, 16 years straight at that. And um, prison definitely, you know what I mean, had a toll on him or whatever. But I mean, prisoner had a toll on anybody, let alone, you know what I mean, somebody that's been through some of the things that he been through, some of the battles that he been through, and you know what I mean, a lot of betrayal on the inside and the outside. I ain't gonna go in too many details, but he definitely was able to get something. He thought he lost something that was real close to him, but you know what I mean, to know that he found a way to salvage what he thought was lost, it mean a lot to him, and it mean a lot to me on this side, knowing that that's one less thing he got stressed about. You know what I mean? Because like the goal is to get out of that and get back on this side, and to get back some type of way that you left. You know what I mean? Like to have your mind. You know what I mean? That's definitely a fight, man. It's definitely a battle. But the homeboy got a book coming out soon, man. So I'm definitely ready for him to, you know what I mean, to pull up, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, we're gonna chop it up about that and a lot more things, man. Like so many different prison stories, man. So many North Carolina prison stories that's yet to be told, man. And just like all I'm gonna say, man, is like just like any other state, man, like that crazy shit happened in North Carolina prisons too. Shit, it was never mind. I ain't gonna go on that because you know what I mean. But he already got caught with them phones or whatever. But I still ain't gonna go too deep into details with him. But it's some crazy shit that go on in North Carolina prisons or whatever. But I just want to catch everybody up to speed, man. So the main goal of this video, man, is to raise awareness about my homeboy, Rashad White. He been down since February 2008. That's 16 years straight and counting. You know what I mean? Like, free the homie, man. You know what I mean? Like, one judge that he thought was gonna shit on him had leniency, and then he goes to the next town over where he got only 3 charges versus the 14 that he just took care of with a judge that he thought was, you know what I mean, was a little shaky. He goes somewhere with a judge that looked just like him and get shitted on. But that's I went into details on that on another video, and that's definitely something that I'm gonna have him, you know what I mean, on this side to be able to tell you. But it's about that time. It's about that time, and that's just keeping it real. It's about that time. 16 years and counting. You know what I mean? The homie done paid his debt to society. It's laws that's changed in North Carolina that says that if it's certain amount of crimes that's you know what I mean, that's on the same docket, the same ticket or whatever, it's like they can't have consecutive sentences when they're getting disposed of at the same time, if that makes sense. But that's what's going on. Like I said, he had a 12 to 16 year bid, and he had a 10 to 12 year bid. So technically he on the 10 to 12 now. But with the laws or what they say they are, then that's already concurrent, both of them sentences. So free the homie, man. It's gonna be free the homie till I see the homie, man. Shout out to his mom, shout out to his sister, shout out to his grandma, shout out you know what I mean, everybody on this side, everybody on my side, and my team that's been supporting the homie, man. I'm definitely, you know what I mean, starting to run into some more familiar faces from around the way or whatever. But that's definitely cool with me. It's cool with the homie. So shout out to all the dads out there, man. I hope everybody had a good Father's Day. You know what I mean? Shout out to my cousins, man. They know who they is, man. Shout out to my cousins. I'm gonna leave that at that. But I'm gonna wrap this up. It's been another exclusive edition of More to Live for Free the Homie, man. Rashad White. Like I tell him, this shit almost over with. The voice of the North, man. Why settle for less? My last name more.